Hello ladies and gentlemen, Green here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about how to play Black Manta. Don't worry about it, I'm not gonna sit in front of him moving and just talk, we're gonna get into some gameplay. But before we get into that, I'm not gonna show you the build since I have a build guide for Black Manta and you should follow that. I'll link that in the description and the pinned comment if I don't forget, but if I do, just search Black Manta build guide and you'll find my video. And there's something that I want to point out before we get into the fight. There's some things that matter here and that might change around your gameplay in this passive in particular. As you get Black Manta to a higher star rating, you're going to also increase the duration of this, meaning how much time you can go without hitting the enemy, without this resetting. This is going to be your main source of damage and your main aim is going to be to keep this up at all times. So if your Black Manta is 4 stars, you'll have to play it perfectly for this to work in some scenarios, and if your Black Manta is 3 stars and not 4 stars, then you're not gonna have access to one of the strategies and you'll be forced into a far simpler strategy. Also keep in mind another thing that will matter a lot in terms of damage, and that might be a reason why you are not dealing damage, is your Brainiac, because Brainiac star rating is also very relevant because of this passive. This thing is very important, and as you get it from level 5 to 6 and 4 to 5, you're going to receive far higher amounts from this one. And also this needs to be to level 70 if you're using this strategy, which we'll get into in a moment, in order to get yourself the maximum amount of lethal. We're basically gonna use Brainiac to buff Black Manta up and give him a lot of lethal attack damage, and afterwards we're gonna deal damage to Black Manta. And the third choice for a character is going to be in the team that I'm going to show you, just like Flash, because of his passive over here. That's gonna give our boy Black Manta one more fast attack hit, and that's very important since we're going to deal all our damage through basic attacks. And at the same time, there's another option you can use that I haven't used here. This is kind of a cheat code in order to be able to easily combo interrupt, but keep in mind you need to ideally have him at the very least at 4 stars for level 5 passive. I only have him at 3 stars, and it needs to be in soul rates, because this gives you a shield that makes you not interruptible by enemy basics. So using this instead of just like Flash will have overall lower damage, but will make you able to combo interrupt even in fights that are not combo interruptible. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into the fight. Okay, so over here we're going to be facing against boss Batman. We're going to be running a level 8 firebox on Black Manta and the level 6 Sword of Salvation on Brainiac, and on Flash I don't think we're running any artifact. The Sword of Salvation is not mandatory, it will help speed up the process of gathering that lethal attack damage definitely, but yet again it's not mandatory. I begin this fight by just getting all these special ones off with Brainiac without doing anything else. I'm even combo interrupting a bit with Brainiac, and you might not be in a scenario where you will be necessarily able to do that, or that will not be the most optimal gameplay, and that is not if you have all blades on Black Manta instead of the firebox. But we will get into that in a moment, because on the last part of it, I do the stacking of special 1 as if I had all blades to be able to exemplify this. But yeah, basically to make it simple, we need to use special 1 of Brainiac 10 times, and Brainiac doesn't need to die, and if you do those two things, Black Manta will deal far more damage. Over here we tagged in Manta. Again, we'll go in slow motion this fight, so don't worry about it. We do a combo and then Brainiac tagging into a swipe right, special 1. Now we're blocking and tagging in while blocking to reset as soon as possible the combo with Black Manta and not lose the passive. And from this point on, we're going to pretty much go ahead and just hit him, combo interrupt him to death. We're not going to use a special tree, because with Black Manta, I found, and I've seen other people also come to that conclusion, you deal a decent amount of damage with a special tree, especially if you have that lethal attack damage from your boy Brainiac over there. But at the same time, it's almost not really worth it, because the animation takes so long to the point where you might even deal a little bit more damage with your basic attacks in the meantime that the animation is playing out. At the same time, it puts you in a dangerous position because it's hard to combo interrupt after a special. And yeah, some people watching this video might be like, but Sigval, I can't combo interrupt. Learn how to combo interrupt, it's a mechanic of the game. I do have a guide on that, I'll link that in the description. it's a game mechanic. It's like saying, Sigval, this guy is not for me because I don't know how to tag in. Learn how to combo interrupt. If you want to ever be a good Manta player and you want him to pull a decent amount of damage, you need to learn how to combo interrupt. And yeah, special treats out of any consideration, as I said, because it's simply not worth in terms of damage. And special 2, you can use the burning and mix it in between your combos, but that's if you need to do that, because burning reduces the defense of the enemy, and you're going to be pretty much required to do that in order to deal some damage. Of course, you're going to have, ideally, as you'll see in my build guide, a little bit of armor pierce on your basic attacks, ideally 4 epics. But even so, that does not apply to swipe, so it's still worth applying the burning. Okay, so this was a pretty decent amount of it. Keep in mind, my Black Manta is 4 stars. If you have him at higher star rating, you'll have a far better time. And right now we're starting with the slow motion towards the end here, because this is gonna be most likely all the gameplay for a lot of you watching this. Because while the Brainiac Special 1 strategy in order to buff up the lethal attack damage is definitely a strategy worthwhile doing, it's not gonna be in that case for everybody. Because those things are going to multiply your damage by percentages. And in order for your damage percentages to be valuable enough to be multiplied, they need to be high enough in the first place. So, from personal experience and from upgrading Manta and Brainiac both piece by piece, I have come to the conclusion that if you're at the point where Black Manta and Brainiac are both 4 stars, and that matters a lot because their passives are kept at 4 stars, it's literally gonna be the same thing if you do or do not do the special ones with Brainiac, because it's simply exchanging some time of the fight in order to increase your damage in the other part of the fight, where you're going to have Manta actually dealing damage. And honestly, if both of them are just at 4 stars, it's really not worth doing. And you're going to find yourself doing this. From the very start of the fight to the end, this is everything that you're going to do. It's not going to change the gameplay in any way, shape or form. The fact that I did use my boy Brainiac at the start. This is gonna what you're gonna do from the start to the end of the fight. You could mix in some special 2s in there again if the enemy has fortified trait and has a lot of armor. You can do the tag in method that I showed you if you want to use all blades. You can definitely do that. But unless your Black Manta is not fully built or close to fully built in terms of gears, and you don't at the very least have either Manta or Brainiac above 4 stars, just go with this. It'll be the same thing, more or less. Just don't worry about the other one. But you can still practice the other one, it's possible. Okay, now this is the tagging that I wanted to talk about. So, we got our boy Black Manta here. It's tagged in. We combo interrupt there. Tap 1, 2, 3 times, swipe right. Tap 1, 2, 3 times, swipe right. Now we got our Brainiac in. Swipe right into a special 1. We tap block, and over here I can tap the tag in myself because I'm on a keyboard, but on a phone you either have to do a weird thing with your third finger and hold the phone something like this, or you have the option of pressing tag in ahead of time before pressing block. And if you do it exactly as I said, with Brainiac getting tagged in, hold on, it's gonna be right now. So yeah. Brainiac tagged in, into a swipe, into a special 1, and after you have pressed the special 1, you're going to press the tag for Black Manta, and you're going to hold block, and Black Manta is gonna be tagged by itself if you do the exact same things before that I showed you. But yeah, all that being said, this is pretty much everything I had to say about how to use Black Manta in star rates. In terms of league rates, it's getting even more rough with the star rating, and with the 4-star Black Manta I'm not pulling much damage myself, so I can't be a lot of help on that, but we'll come back in the future and revisit that. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this. Check out the build guide in the description. That thing's lit. It's the perfect build you can have for Black Manta. And I'll hopefully see you all in the next one, and good luck on playing your Black Manta, lads. Goodbye.